Welcome everyone on this again beautiful Thursday. I keep repeating myself by doing this weather report here. It is the absolutely best weather that you can ever imagine. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's sunny, no breeze even. And I have a window open and I can see all my plants there and I feel like I'm sitting right in nature. So it is gorgeous, makes me happy. I hope you can experience that too wherever you are. Never forget to go out in nature and enjoy and be still in whatever answers you are seeking. They will come to you. With us, we have today Sara from Virtuous Unicorns. Unfortunately, Katie could not be with us today, so we will miss her. And we have Gary Parent with us. And today's topic was learn how to help yourself getting on your road to Wellville. That was not the original title of the video that Gary actually made 7 years ago, even more than 7 years ago. And when I saw that video, I was like, hey, this is an absolutely great topic to share with you today. So my intent is to put the share button on, play that video, and yes, of course, I could, just send everyone the link, but that's not as much fun because now we get to talk about what Gary was actually talking about. And for everyone, if you have questions, make sure put them in the chat. Usually, when I am screen sharing, I cannot see the chat. Because otherwise I have to go from window to window so I can see it as soon as I stop the chat. But for Gary and Sara, they will jump in when necessary or when they want to and have something to add to it. And so I will find the share button. This is the same thing every week. I'm like, where did it go? Right on top, of course. So I'm going to share the screen now. That was not what I was looking for. I was looking for this. And we just start playing unless either of you have anything to add or to share now.
Not at
Gary?
this time. I'm ready, but I'll keep an eye on the chat.
Oh, that would be very good. Yeah, thanks. Okay, here we go.
Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about cells again. One of the most important things in our whole body because our whole body is made of cells. Now, we're going to be talking about is how they work. I'm going to go briefly over what I covered last week, and I did something a little different. I wrote everything backwards. Hi everybody. I wrote everything backwards on paper so you could read it. And that's what I spent most of my day doing today. Not an easy task. But we have a cell. So what creates a cell? We're going to kind of breeze through the beginning of this. You can go back on the Facebook or go to YouTube, to my channel on YouTube. It's under Gary Parent. And you will find that video. So that's why we're going to skip through this, but I want to make sure as we bring things up to date that we have a seed and a womb. That's what creates a cell. And of course, with every cell in all life, every cell in all life, it has to have a blueprint. And that blueprint is the gene and the DNA. And we're going to get into more about the gene and the DNA later on here. So the next thing that we're going to need, which I kind of left off with the gene and the DNA the last time. So the next thing that we need, because we have a seed, a womb, a blueprint, gene, and the DNA, we need hydration and nutrition. Without proper hydration and proper nutrition, the cells start to lose their energy. And the final thing that we need is oxygen and temperature. We have to maintain proper oxygen, temperature, nutrition, and hydration for that cell to thrive. This is so much of what's wrong with almost everybody. We are experiencing chronic acidosis, and it is heading towards degenerative, and that's why so many people are having so many issues, and they're losing their energy because the cells can't function properly. So what do all those have in common? All the seed, the womb, the nutrition, the hydration, the oxygen, and the temperature. What does that create? It creates an environment. And that environment is being messed up. And what's it being messed up by? Science. Because science is creating all the things that we are exploring, and they're making plastics, and they're making all these different things to make our life wonderful. But if you want to know what's inside your body, all you have to do is look at the surface of the earth. The earth is the largest cell that we know of in the universe. And the crust of the earth lives inside us because we are cells. And we really need to start taking care of the earth. And in doing so, we will be taking care of ourselves. And we don't need science to do that. All we need to do is realize that our environment is controlled really by us. We are far bigger than science ever thought of it. So it's in the soil. It's in the soil will take care of the plants with minerals and hydration and obviously temperature and oxygen. All that stuff goes in and it comes out this perfect little fruit, berry, melon, vegetables. All cells, all ready to give us life. And we've got so far away from that that we've forgotten. So what happens when you get the environment right? Your energy increases. What kind of energy? Cellular energy. So, as we are experiencing dehydration through our industrialized, synthesized, homogenized, pasteurized diet, we are slowly dying of thirst. I don't know how many of you have ever been out on, going out at night and you're drinking and you get up the next morning and you feel like you got hit by a truck. Well, that's making that happen in a few hours. What's going on in your body over years. And I just want to say hi to everybody, and please comment below where you're from, maybe what you're getting from these videos. Make sure to visit the other ones and make sure to hit that love button because I love each and every one of you too. And I have a couple of demonstrations here. I've tried to at least have one to give you a visual of what's going on in our body. So there's a lot of bloating and a lot of things that are going on because of bad food combinations, or your stomach is acidic, or it's alcohol. Could be too alcohol, and it can't process everything properly. So I'm going to pardon me, I'm going to step off camera here for a second. This is alcohol. It's baking soda. And let's pretend that that this is an interstitial nest for our cell to set in. So there it is, because that interstitial pathway is the gate for the nutrition and oxygen to come up through the blood, and it wants to be in an alkaline state. Now, how does it stay in an alkaline state? Because it's eating, digesting, and eliminating. So it's pooping inside this dish. So that's this little petri dish right here. That's what's happening. So the lymphatic system comes up through that interstitial pathway too, and it cleans up that pee and poop and pulls it out of there. So it's living in an alkaline environment. Now, when we are dehydrated and we are not getting the nutrients we need, the movement that we need, because our lymphatic system doesn't have a pump like our blood does. So 80% of the manual pump that helps the lymphatic system move is the balls of our feet. That's why walking is so good for you. As you're walking, right, you're moving your lymph system. As you move your arm, it's so good for us. And you don't have to be strenuous. Just a nice walk. Walk in the woods, listen to nature, watch nature. Feel that breeze on your skin. Feel the environment you're in. Watch the squirrels and the birds. And it's amazing what you will learn watching them. So we have an alkaline situation that this cell is sitting in. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to introduce some acid. And what we're going to use for acid is pasteurized, not live, vinegar. And this is what's happening. It doesn't matter what the acid is, as long as you're alkaline and you're mixing acid, or you're acid and you're mixing alkaline. This is why food combination is so important. This is what's happening inside your body. Pretty cool, huh? That's why you're getting gassy, bloated, all these different things. You got putrefaction in there. There's so many things going on. That cell is sitting in that environment and is getting burned. So it's very important to make sure that you stay hydrated, that you get the nutrients that you need. Put this down. All right, tip it over. Okay, so that's why it's so important to keep our body in a more alkaline state, to stay truly hydrated with live liquids. And I've gone over this many times in my videos. I'll probably go over it many more times. Live liquids are things like coconut water from a green coconut. You can get live at a store, but you have to be careful because a lot of that is pasteurized or it's from concentrate, which what happens is they boil all of the water and stuff out of it and they send it in a really dense liquid, and then they put water in it to rehydrate it, and in the process they kind of kill the live part of it. So kombucha, the master cleanse, even having lemon water, that's a nice live liquid. There are so many out there. It's incredible. Green smoothies, juices that you make at home. Those are all live liquids, and they're amazing for your body on a cellular level. And what they create is energy. As we get dehydrated, we get sticky, we get inflamed. Inflammation, that's what the acid is causing. And it's restricting the flow of everything in the body. And that's what we don't want. That's how we get sick. All we really need to do, this is so simple, incredible. Start putting live foods and live liquids in our life. Start slow. Many people start and they're like, they just want to get it over with. This is a lifetime thing. shower today and then shower again next year. You can't, you can do that, yes. But there's people are going to avoid you, right? You're going to start collecting the wrong crowd, and the crowd that you might want to be around is going to start going away. Same thing is going on inside your body. As your body gets acidic, condensed, and sticky, all of a sudden, yeast, mold, fungus, parasites, all these different elements that you don't want in your body start to grow, and they start to take over the strength of your body. And it takes so much energy from your body to deal with these and to deal with that acid that I just showed you, that you don't have enough to run your body. I don't know how many of you ever eat like at Thanksgiving or just a big meal, heavy meal, and you fall asleep. Or you're at, you could go to a cafe or a bar and you see somebody having a few beers and they start to get tired. That's the body using the energy that would normally run your body. It has to send it in. You're forcing it to go in and work with that to deal with it. And it's taking so much energy, it's unlike. But as you rebuild, rehydrate, get oxygen, nutrition in your body, it will come back to life. It doesn't have a choice, it has to. As your body gets stronger, it will eliminate the weakness every single time. The discipline of doing that is the issue. So if it's important to cleanse the external body every day or so, it's important to cleanse the internal body every day or so, because the stink that you're washing off is coming from the inside through your 13 channels of elimination. Well, we clean our ears. You know, when we cry, that's why we wipe away the tears. That's salt water. Our lungs and our skin is our third kidney. It's the largest eliminated organ in the body. Urine, stool, all these different things, they're all eliminated organs. And the body needs those to work properly for you to generate energy. And as they get congested, all of a sudden, you can't produce enough energy. That's why you get tired. The simple solution: proper hydration, nutrition. I'm going to grab one more thing here because, see, we have two forms of energy in our body. We have quantum energy in our body, and we have an energy that demands that it be fed to maintain physical energy. So what I have here is two magnets that you can see they stick together. But when you flip it, it pushes apart. Everything about us is this right here. This is what our bones are. Our bones hold quantum energy. Now I'm recording this on a cell phone. And what is a cell phone? It's a crystal and a battery. Well, we eat food to gain energy when we eat properly. That's what we're doing. We're replacing, gaining, and burning energy. We are crystal also, and that crystal compounds are in our bones. And that is how we communicate through the ethers, just like the cell phone. The cell phone is actually just a mini us when it comes to the electronics part. So remember, we are quantum energy. And what's so powerful about this, you could take this and set it on a table for 10 generations. Has eaten anything. It hasn't done anything. We don't have to tend it, nothing. And guess what? It's going to have the exact same energy that it does right now. That's how powerful quantum energy is. Another thing is quantum energy, and I was thinking about this today. Okay, gravity is quantum energy. So is the electromagnetic field. Now, is gravity and the electromagnetic field the same? I don't think there's any answer to that. You know, it's funny that science can split an atom, and they're building a facility. Actually, I think it's already built. It's 7 times bigger than the one that they had. And what they're trying to do is crash an atom to create black matter, hoping, get this now, hoping that they can create black holes in outer space. Now, what do you think that's going to do to the environment? When we look inside and we have leaky gut, what have we done? We've created a black hole or a hole in our gut flora. And all of a sudden, the acids are leaking out, getting into the system. Well, you poke a black hole in the universe, something's going to get out or in, because it's energy. That's all it is. It's a magnet. Everything has an electromagnetic field, and it's all one source energy. You could set a nuclear bomb off, which has happened many times. There won't even be a ripple in the quantum field. That's how powerful the quantum field is. Man-made energy, a good wind will knock the power out. When we look at that and we think of our body and we're eating the wrong foods, that's like that wind coming in and it's knocking the energy out of our body. So we have to learn how to take care of that. And taking care of it is very simple. Proper hydration, proper nutrition, and movement to keep that lymphatic system going. Now, we can also do that through herbs, because herbs are organ and gland specific. So they help reduce the inflammation in the body, to loosen it up. And you hear a lot of people saying, well, you know, I just can't get rid of this spot over here, or you know, I have cellulite on my legs. That's just weak tissue in the body. Through yo-yo dieting and bad diet, the fat cells actually expand, and there's a skin layer over the top of that, and it starts to dip, and that's how you get that look. Well, with proper nutrition, hydration, and movement, and it'll take probably 1 or 2 years, but that can go away. But it needs to liquefy it to get it to move. So there are times when it's going to look worse as you're going through this, and then people kind of blame the detox. Well, it's not the detox, it's the process the body has to go through to eliminate. We get vitamin D from the sun. That's a source of energy. And we really need to be in the sun. No sunblock, use organic coconut oil and put it on. Make sure you clean your skin first. Put the organic coconut oil, go out in the sun. I don't care if you can only be there for 10 seconds. As time goes by, you'll be able to be there longer and longer. And of course, there is maximum for everybody. You know, I can only be out maybe 4 or 5 hours without getting burned. So all these little things, all these little steps that we've been told not to do. Oh, you can't go out in the sun, that causes skin cancer. Oh, you can't have salt, that messes up your system. I was talking to somebody the other day about salt licks. You know, we used to go out in the field with the cows because I grew up around farms. So we used to go out in the field with the cows and lick the salt licks with them. And you know what? I never heard of a cow getting sick from licking a salt lick, because they have an innate ability to understand when their body needs salt. They have an innate ability to understand when they need to eat a specific herb because they're having issues. All wildlife does. The only ones that have lost it is us. We're touted as being extremely smart because we can, and we can do many things, okay? Like build skyscrapers and all this stuff. You know, where does a squirrel get his blueprints? How many tools do they have to build their little nest up in the trees? Or a bird? They have nothing. They have a beak and feet. A squirrel has a mouth and feet. And they build these structures that go through hurricanes. And they're safe inside. That's why we need to be observing nature. Nature is infinite in its wisdom. So get out in nature, watch it. Take your shoes off, get your feet grounded to the ground. Everything in the magnetic world is based on completing a circuit. When I turn a light switch on and the light comes on, I've completed a circuit. Same is true for our body. We're wearing sneaker rubber bottoms, and we get close to the ground, and that's pretty good. But it's not like being on the ground with your bare skin. When you go up to a plant, just gently touch it. That's completing that circuit. You ground it to the ground, you touch the plant, you ask let's say that it was a tomato plant, right? Cherry tomatoes. You ask which cherry tomato is right for you, and it will guide you there. And when you pick it and eat it, you're completing that circuit, and all that life force energy that's in the plant, it's in the universal field, goes right into your body to feed your cells. And the earlier it's picked and the longer it sits on the shelf, the life force energy starts to leave. There's still nutrition there, still hydration there, but the life force energy. You pick a green leafy vegetable and you watch it start to wilt, that is the life force energy. And that is nature showing us that when we start to lose our life force energy, we start to wilt, we start to bend over, we get stiff, tired, and it's hard for us to move. So putting out life force energy in our body is rejuvenating ourselves on a cellular level. And every person is as unique as their fingerprint. Inside, every cell is unique. So that's why one diet doesn't fit all. We have to be explorers and go out and find the solution to rebuild our own energy. So basically, all of us on here that work with people, we're guides. But the fine tuning is up to you. So I think I'm going to draw this to a conclusion right now. I love you all, and so happy that I can be doing this. Hopefully you got a lot out of this. Let me know where you're from. Hit that like button. Share it with other people if you would. And I hope you have a fantastic night. Hydrate, nutrify, and exercise. Just simple movement. That's all you need. Just go for a walk. Remember, balls at your feet. 80% of the lymphatic or how it moves through the body is through the balls of the feet. Again, I love you all, and we'll see you in the next video. See ya.
Well, that was interesting.
Well,
Okay.
thank you.
That was fantastic, Gary.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I was taking notes while I was listening to it because I didn't want to disrupt it. So when you're ready, I have some questions.
All right. I'm ready.
All right. Well, maybe we might want to do, Sue Hood said everything eats and poops. The cells poop in the lymphatic system. Yep, they do. And then Lisa Lash said, "Hi, Gary from Carolina Beach, North Carolina."
Hi, how are you?
Yeah,
Great to have you
perfect.
join us.
Yes. Lisa and Sue are here quite often. We thank you all. Thank everybody for listening. So when you were first start talking in the very beginning, something just kind of like came to me. It was when you were talking about the cell in the beginning. You talked about oxygen and proper hydration. Otherwise, the cell can't fully be created properly. This made me think of autism.
hmm
So that was kind of like my thought that I had on that because I've never been hydrated properly and I never learned how to breathe until just what, in the spring? I've been dead this whole time. And then I learned how to breathe. So just I don't I am I right to even kind of maybe start to link that together? Like I'm not pointing one thing to autism. I think it's multiple things that kind of come together. But proper hydration and oxygen, that was definitely something that I was not providing my child with.
Yeah, people that are doing breath work with children that are autistic, it's actually raising their mental capability. They're actually getting more out of life because they are low on oxygen. And the hydration is a big part. 9 times out of 10, they're not getting salt. So putting salt in the master cleanse or just Soleil water, which is you take a quart jar or even a pint jar, right? And you put a whole bunch of salt in it, maybe 3 teaspoons of salt. You can put tablespoons if you want to. And you shake it. You put the lid on it and you shake it. And then you let it set overnight. And then when it settles to the bottom, you don't shake it again. You can take a teaspoon and put it in a gallon of water. You can put 2 in there, but start with 1. And you drink a glass of that every day out of that gallon, or you can drink the whole gallon. A lot of people drink a gallon of water a day. And with that Himalayan or Celtic salt, not table salt, I want to make that clear. Himalayan, Celtic, there's a blue California or blue Baja salt too. That's supposed to have the most minerals in it because what real salt has in it is minerals.
I've been
And
looking for that salt and I've only seen it online so far, but I've been trying to find it locally. The best that I can get my hands on here, that in my opinion, is the Redmond's mineral salt.
yeah, Redmond's makes a really good salt.
Mhm.
Redmond's products I think they're all pretty good. Uh, I have not tested them with my Yucca app, and I don't know that it would read those, but it might.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, and autism is a miscommunication between the cells because every cell in your body has its own brain. It's a mini you, and it's constantly communicating with the brain so that it knows what chemicals or what it needs to produce to keep that cell and that mitochondria healthy, that mitochondria inside the cell. So that miscommunication, the mind or the brain or however you want to look at that, is not producing the correct, I call them chemicals, for the body so that the cells can reproduce properly. So it's like the blueprint I was talking about, right? The blueprint is a little bit off, the gene and the DNA, right? And if we can get uh, some Soleil water and start drinking that, I prefer the Master Cleanse, but you're not going to get any cheaper than Soleil water. Because you can keep using that. Water will absorb, I think it's 26% of the salt that's on, because that's all it can hold. That's what the ocean holds too, I believe. So that 26%, and then you're diluting it by putting it in a gallon of water, but that will completely change your entire life. just that water. And if you can drink a gallon of that or half a gallon a day or something like that, even a glass full is better than going without salt, because we cry it out, we pee it out, we spit it out. I mean, salt is coming out of us everywhere, and the body doesn't produce salt. And the there, I think it's hydrogen chloride. It helps digest your food. That's why you're supposed to salt your food. And you're getting the minerals and things. So the food is lacking in minerals, enzymes, electrolytes, everything, right? So if you're drinking the Master Cleanse and you're using a lemon, or you're drinking fruit juice, or you're eating or green juice, or a green smoothie, or a fruit smoothie, there's enzymes and electrolytes in there, and they're charging the cells. And the brighter energetically that the cells are, the better the communication between the mind and the cell itself, so it knows what chemicals to produce to keep it strong. You know, it goes back to that cellular amnesia that we talked about a while ago. The cell doesn't know what to do. It doesn't know how to think. It's kind of like dumbed down energetically, and it cannot communicate properly. And that's every cell in the body has that possibility that it's going to lose touch, proper communication with the brain and with all the other cells around it. You know, Bruce Lipton was fired as a medical teacher for an experiment he did. He took one cell and he let it reproduce to 50,000 cells. So they're all identical. And he put a third in a petri dish, and he took another third and put it in a different petri dish, and another one put it in a different petri dish. And he changed the environment in each one, which is synthetic blood. But, you know, again, it got him fired and shunned from the whole medical community. Because in the first petri dish, when that environment, identical cells, remember, it created bone. The next petri dish had a different environment. It created fat. And in the other petri dish, it created muscle. They were all identical. So as our body is developing, it's changing all these environments, which creates the heart, the kidneys, the adrenals, the bones, the everything. And that's all communication. And when the communication cannot be done properly, well, you end up with effects of the body. And it could be that that like when science created a chemical to help pregnant women, and the kids were born with birth defects, no arms, no legs. Science did that. Science does all kinds of things. And I'm not sure, I think they have a good heart, but when it goes out, it's not truly tested until it hits the public. And then they look at it and go, well, okay. Well, they design a drug and they go, let's give this to the public and see what it does. And that's what's been going on forever with science. Let's see. Oh, well, I bet this will correct something and it makes it worse. It's like off-label medications. This used to frustrate me, but I used to sit at the coffee shop with this woman who worked for a company in Boston, and they were off-label people. There were 2,200 of them in this one facility. And this is going to happen all over the world, not just in this place in Boston. 2,200 people. And their job is to take a medication that was prescribed, let's say, for diabetes. and it ended up killing the people. Do they take that off the shelf? Nope. All doctors that use medication off label write down the results. And they go through the results. That's why there's 2,200 of them. They go through the results and they pick a different disease, create a new label, and do not change that pill and put it back out. Now they know it's harming or killing people, yet they don't do it. This is what science is. It's not what it's become, it's what it is. They have, and whether they're doing it with the right frame of mind, the system itself, it's artificial light in a sterilized condition by people that are trying to maintain or keep their paycheck, because a lot of that is pre-programmed to them. If you want this money, this is the result we're looking for. Find out how to get it. And that's what they do. And that is pathetic. When all we really need to do is pay attention to our body, learn to breathe, learn to hydrate, learn what foods are destroying us and which ones are empowering us. And it's different for every person because we're just a chemistry set. And when we learn how to breathe, right, the body is a compression decompression chamber. From the diaphragm right here up, we're quantum. From the diaphragm down, we're physical. We're survival. And that two types of energy that we were talking about, or I was talking about in that video, okay, nutrition has energy, it feeds the physical, and breath feeds the quantum. And it's what keeps the body fluid. It keeps it moving. When you breathe in through your nose, you're creating nitric oxide. You breathe in through your nose and you hum, you're creating 15 times more nitric oxide, which helps the body relax, helps the heart relax, helps the lungs relax, the muscles. And when you breathe in a full belly breath, you're expanding the body. And that is putting pressure, because as the diaphragm drops, it's massaging all your organs and glands, and the heart and the lungs have more room, so they drop. They relax. And then when you exhale, the diaphragm comes back up, the pressure is off the organs and glands, and it helps pump the blood, and it helps the air move in and out through the lungs. It's really, we don't even need to know that. It's fun to know, but we don't need to know that. We need to know how to hydrate, how to oxygenate, how to breathe, and the nutrition for our body. When I share qigong with people, which is movement and breath, now I say, try to move like I do the best you can, but stay within the limitation of your body, because your body's not my body and mine's not yours. So we're going to move a little different. And if you have an impingement somewhere where you pick your arm up or your hand and it's sore, well, you stay on the back side of that. If there's pain there, we're into healing. We're not into pain. And if you just move that far because this is too far and it causes pain, we stay on this side of it. And as you're doing this, the body is regenerating itself. And it eventually, you'll be able to have full movement. And no matter where it is in the body, doesn't matter. You know, and there are three basic things that I'm really focused on now in Qigong, other than breath. These are movements. The Zen swing, which is rocking your arms back and forth down at your side and lifting a heel, and I have videos on that, and I'm sure Toni has some of that on her stuff. Matter of fact, I know she does. The 6 lymphatic gates, opening the lymphatic system. But the 3 moves: the Zen swing, swinging your arms back and forth, lifting a heel from side to side. The horse stance, which is kind of like you're sitting on your own skeleton, and your skeleton is floating inside your body. That's why when they dig up ancient graves and stuff, the bones are scattered or they're all over the place. It's not just a skeleton laying there, they're separate because they're all held together with tendons and cartilage. And that's how it moves. So it's floating inside you. And we're trained to focus on the muscle. Well, that's not, it's not entirely true. Because if you have an arm that's paralyzed, the muscles are still there. Why don't they move? Because there's a blockage somewhere and the energy can't get through. Because the energy moves the muscle and the muscle moves the skeletal structure. And the lymphatic system eliminates the waste that is created in your movement. Because everything we do is about absorption and elimination, and the body absorbs what it needs and it eliminates through the 13 channels of elimination everything that it doesn't want or that would make it sick. And if you get down to the last 5 or 10 pounds and you can't lose it, you're trying to lose weight, right? That's because the toxins, they're usually surrounded in fat. And that is so dangerous. That's why it put it there. The body was not strong enough to eliminate it. So you get down to that last 5 or 10 pounds and it's stubborn. You can't get rid of it. That's why. The body's not strong enough yet to go in and take whatever that is that's stuck there and release it. So you have to help it do that. That's why it's a detox lifestyle. You can't, well, you can because many people do, and they end up in the same place. When you detox 1 day, 10 days, 30 days, 40 days, whatever, and you go back to your old diet, you're going to get sick again. So you have to figure out after the detox how you're going to reintroduce food into your life, and you're going to create a new lifestyle where the body is cleansing itself all the time. And once it gets in the detox mode, it's really hard to congest it. So you can cheat once in a while and you think, wow, that really didn't do anything. And then you start cheating more and more. And the next thing you know, you're congested, your body's congested, and you start losing your internal power. You know, we're not our body, we're the energy in our body. This body is a gift to us, and we have been led down a path that keeps us sick because the system makes money when we're sick. And we're seeing it more than ever right now. 3/4, think of this, 3/4 of America is in a chronic state of dis-ease right now. Not disease. There is no disease. There's only dis-ease. There's a imbalance between the cells and the mind. And the mind can't produce what it's supposed to produce because it's getting the wrong information. And it's making chemicals, that are not conducive to good health. So, okay, I'll leave it right there. I hope I answered your question. I'm not really sure.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
The next one I had was about the cellular energy, and I just wanted to say that I have so much energy. I mean, I've been on just pure fruit for since June. Like it started in May, but it's been since June,
Mm-hmm.
and my energy does not fade. And I do sleep. It's not that I can't sleep, but it's just when I'm awake, I'm awake, and I can. I mean, I do stuff. I can't even begin to tell you everything I do. And, I still have a son that has autism. I have a husband, that's a veteran, so I mean, like I have mental stress, I have work stress, I have animal stress, family stress, like everybody else. And I can just take it all in stride now.
Mm-hmm.
And my energy is just, like I said, off the charts. And I do drink a gallon of water every day. I shouldn't say every day. I try to hit the gallon of water every day. I make
Mm-hmm.
my own distilled water and I do add a little pinch of salt in there. Not all the
Mm-hmm.
time, but occasionally I do. Like I'm on that kick now. And I was getting like super cold, but that's changed. And, so now it's almost like my body's running very efficient. And I got hurt the other night, like pretty good. I got hit in the face by one of the horses during the rainstorm with their,
Yeah.
they had a muzzle on, and it was like stuck in her mouth, somehow it got off. It was dark, and it ended up hitting me in the face. And I had a black eye, but the bruising was gone by that night.
Hmm.
Like it had already whatevered. And so I was just kind of thinking and talking about that. And it I believe that it's because my body doesn't have to work on digestion all the time, that it can go and work on repair mode. And I
Hmm.
did not, so I was reading about ice and everything too. You can use ice in the immediate effects of the trauma within the first 24 hours because it does kind of help slow the blood flow. But after that, you should use heat. But I was too busy. I couldn't just tend it. And
Hmm.
so like I said, like you can't even tell it even happened now. And this was Tuesday night. And
Hmm.
so by last night, it was like almost nobody could even tell that it even happened. And my eye was swollen and it was bruised down below. But I even saw stars when it happened.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
But yeah. So I just think like the cellular energy is like a real thing.
Hmm.
And it is it it's amazing. And yeah, the way I sound now is how I feel even at 6 o'clock in the morning and even at midnight. Like, and then when I lay down to go to sleep, I just lay down and go to sleep. And then I wake up and I'm right back at it. And it's been sustained energy too. So, all right.
Yeah.
The next one I had was when you talked about coconut water. Taste Nirvana is the one that I'll use when I do use it. And I find that it has a really good flavor and a good taste. And I was researching it, and it says that it's never from concentrate. So I did
Hmm.
put a link to that in the chat. And then the next one, I haven't worn sunglasses in years now. And I was talking to you guys earlier, like we go to theme parks all the time. I've even been to Disney multiple times. My family doesn't use sunscreen. We never do. None of us, not even my son. And none of us get sunburnt at all. And I'm outside all the time. Actually,
Hmm.
it takes me a long time to get tan. But yeah, so we don't use it at all. And I think it's attributed to the no sunglasses too, where it allows your brain to actually know that you're in the sun.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that's for everybody to experiment with, but it just kind of happens for me because I don't have a choice. I am outside and I choose not to use sunscreen. And then I also found about whole kernel coconut oil from Dr. Bronner's, which is much better than your regular one. So it's raw, basically unrefined whole kernel coconut oil, and it smells amazing. So if I ever need that for anything, I just use that. And the next one is about the quantum energy that you talked about that's within our bones and the ether about how the squirrels, they don't have blueprints on how to build their nest or anything. I believe that the squirrels are tapped into the quantum field, which is ether, which is God's consciousness. And that's how they did that study, which I think is like the thousand monkey study, or I
Hmm.
don't remember it, but they had monkeys in the island of Madagascar and they did some things with them. And then monkeys on the other side of the earth world knew how to do it.
Yes.
And nobody had ever showed them. And I believe that that's how all animals communicate with each other is they know how to tap into that quantum field. They know how to tap into the ether. And we absolutely can do it. We've just forgotten. And we've been told
Hmm.
that we can't do it. And we're also very much numb to everything because of our food, because of our schedules, because of the environment and all that stuff. So those were all of my questions I had.
Okay. Uh, it's gonna be hard to answer them because there was a lot of questions there.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them were just kind of like talking about
Yeah.
like the stuff I do and then just touching on like
Yeah.
what you were talking about there.
Yeah. I mean, animals, I mean, even dogs, they know what herbs to eat when they're not feeling well. They all do because they're all tapped into the Akashic records. They don't think, like in America, I don't know about the world, but in America, between 7:30 and 9:30 Monday morning is when over half your heart attacks happen. And it's not
Yep,
because they're
it
going
is.
out to play.
Uh-huh.
It's because they're going to work and there's stress. Uh, and they want us gasping for breath. The breath gave us life. The first one was in. It turned on all the autonomic things, the digestion, the heart, the lungs, the nervous system, everything, because everything runs through the nervous system. That's why I consider myself an electrical engineer for the human body. And the best way to do that is to learn how to breathe in through the nose, belly breath, expand as much as you can, and then exhale and try to touch your belly button to your spine. That's when you exhale it all out. And what happens when you hold your breath at the top and you hold your breath at the bottom? Either way, at the top or at the bottom. I prefer using both. But you know what the body creates when you do that? Stem cells. You don't have to go pay $25,000 and fly to another country to have stem cells. All you have to do is learn how to breathe, and you hold your breath at the top.
Imagine that our body is smart enough to create its own stem cells. Imagine that,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Yep.
And on top of that, they know exactly where to go to fix what's wrong. So you think about that. I mean, the body is super intelligent, and we have been trained, manipulated, and forced to do things that go completely against it. And who's doing that? Science. Science is doing that. When you take a drug that you know is harming people and you relabel it for a different disease and put it right back out there, there's something wrong with that. I don't care if it's 2,200 or 25,000 or 250,000 people doing that. It's not right. And because it's all about profit, they spent a lot of money to develop this drug and it didn't do what they thought it was going to do. So they just put it up someplace else on something else. And they send a lot of the drugs that are tested before it goes into the public, they send to third world countries. And they also give prisoners time off to take experimental medication, experimental drugs. It's not medication, it's drugs. Okay, let's get that clear. There's no such thing as a medication that doesn't come from nature. Everything they do is synthetic, it's petroleum based. And think about drinking a gallon of gasoline. I mean, you wouldn't even get past the first swallow. That's petroleum. And that's what they're making the medication out of. So it's having drastic side effects for some people. And they just can't poison the body enough. That's one of the big issues. So by breathing and getting a full breath right from your belly button all the way to your throat, to your chest, a nice full breath. And then you exhale and you exhale it all out. You're maximizing the pressure and the decompression or decompression of the body. And you're moving blood, you're moving lymph, you're moving tissue, you're massaging the body internally. And that is one of the most important things that we can do, because without breath, you can't be here. That's your gate to get in. If you didn't catch that first breath, you can't be here. No matter what condition you're in. And there are ways around things that are going on in the body, but that's what it takes: proper hydration, nutrition, and breath and oxygen. Because those cells have to have that. That mitochondria has to have that. And if it doesn't get it and it starts to lose energy, so we'll say divine energy is here, and because of our diets, we're losing our energy, it starts to drop. And it doesn't mean you have, but you'll be susceptible to things like cold and flu and fibromyalgia and Hashimoto's and Parkinson's and MS and cancer. They gave them names so you won't know their frequencies. That's all they are. They're a frequency in the body, and the body doesn't know what to do to correct it because it's sick. It's got mucus around it. It can't absorb. Uh, it has a tough time eliminating because it's sitting in acid, just like that baking soda and that vinegar showed. And it wouldn't matter what kind of acid you use; it's still going to have the same effect on that baking soda. Or if you had the acid sitting there and you put baking soda in the acid, it'll do the same thing. I mean, it's a chemical reaction that you can't control. Well, as our body gets more alkaline, matter of fact, Dr. Morse talks about this. If you have a true alkaline body, you could take a knife and cut your hand or your finger or whatever, and it will heal in hardly no time at all, just like your eye. Because when you're alkaline, the body knows how to fix it. When there's acid there, it can't get through to fix it. It gets worse. It's really painful. And when your body is alkaline, there's not much pain in the body. When you're alkaline, there's no room for dis-ease in the body. The body needs to be slightly alkaline, and everything that we're doing, from stress to alcohols to, because alcohol is sugar, and chemically laden products and chemically laden medications, those all go against the body. Do some of them work? Yes, but like Dr. Moore said, what you suppress today will become a nightmare tomorrow. So when we absorb and think about that very statement, we don't have a choice. We have to clean up our diet. And it's a lifestyle. And if you don't want to do all fruit because you think that fruit is has so much sugar in it and it has all this stuff, listen to who's telling you that. Because they're usually scientists, or they believe in the science is telling them that, and it's not true. It's different because it's alive. And the most incredible experience you could have, might look a little weird, but every animal does this. Every animal, every insect, every reptile, they eat live. And like a deer going up to an apple tree, right? It doesn't pick it and sit down and eat it. It bites it while it's on the tree, and they're grounded to the earth. So if you take your shoes off, ground yourself to the earth, and your teeth are electrical. They're part of your digestive system. If you touch that apple and you're grounded to the earth, you're completing that circuit. And if you took that apple and left it on the tree and bit it, you're really completing a circuit because your feet are grounded, the tree is grounded, and your teeth are biting into a grounded product that will energize your body. You know, when I was growing up, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, you don't hear those things anymore. All you hear about is all how bad everything is. There's nothing that goes in the body that can't be eliminated by the body. But it has to have proper hydration, oxygen, and nutrition, grounding to the earth, and having a great story. And let's not forget rest. Because when we rest, that's when the body actually heals. When we lay down to go to sleep at night, this is right here above your collarbone. This is gate 1 for the 6 lymphatic gates. Well, when you lay down, everything that comes from your toes all the way up the body, all the way up through the gates to get to here. And if any one of those is blocked, let's say right here under the solar plexus, down around the belly button, this is gate 4. If this gets congested, belly gets big. And the other thing that happens is the acids start backing up in the house, which is your whole stomach area. And liver issues, kidney issues, adrenal issues, stomach issues, gallbladder issues, spleen, you name it, whatever's in there, if there's a weak spot, that acid is going to go right to it. and it's going to start affecting those cells. And the only way to clean them out is proper hydration and oxygen. And you get that in there. So I have a video where I have pudding in a bowl. And I say, I want to clean that. I want to clean that bowl. I want to clean it out because it's stuck. It's congested. It's jammed. Okay. Just like a mucus in your body. That was put there by food. Probably food that you love. And how do I clean that bowl? Do I put more pudding in it? Because that's what you're doing by eating that food. You're making that pudding bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. No, use water. Use things like live liquids. But when you pour it in, it just makes a hole and it sits there. So what do you have to do? Take a spoon and you stir it. And you loosen it up and you dump it out. And you put a little more in and you loosen it up and you dump it out. This is what the lymphatic system is trying to do. But because we're eating more and more congesting food, it gets behind and then it can't make it up without proper hydration and breath work to move. And qigong is the movement. It's the spoon that stirs it. So you put proper oxygen and hydration and nutrition in the body, and you're doing gentle, slow movements. That's what stirs up the pudding so that you can dump it out. It's no different for the body. It's no different at all, actually. We have to move. We don't have to run 26 miles. And this is another thing. You run 26 miles, like the leaders in the race, probably all of them. Doesn't matter because the ones that can't run as fast are putting more pressure on their body, on their on their kidneys. Do you know those people pee blood for 2 to 3 days after a marathon? Think about that. Think that's a little stress on the body? So I don't think I did the third thing. So the first one on the movements, the Zen swing, the horse dance, and doing a full squat. Now, you may not be able to do a full squat, but you do the best you can and you imagine that you're doing a full squat because the body doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. And what'll happen is you just squat down, not so it hurts. You squat down as far as you can without hurting yourself. And you stay there for a second and then you stand back up. Maybe that's it for that day. The next day you do it again. You know what? Within 2 or 3 weeks, you'll probably be able to do a full squat. And a full squat is touching your butt on the floor. That's a full squat. And the more you do it, the longer you'll be able to be there. And when you open those hips up, it changes everything about your structure. It changes everything about your flow. Trauma that might be trapped in the pelvic region. Okay. Inside, that's a bowl, right? This is where trauma, guilt, and fear live. And the sacrum is right there. There's a little bone on the back. It's the base of the spine. Well, if this trauma is so deep and vibrating at such a pace that it drowns out the sacrum, you lose a lot of your internal power. And it's the fear of moving forward. It creates a fear of you being able to move forward. And you can see it in people's hips. They struggle to walk forward. And that's part of the reason is there's so much trauma in there that the sacrum, the vibration is not strong enough to get through that. So as you release that trauma and the sacrum starts to vibrate again, it'll send the energy right up the spine, up your back, and it'll come around and go right into the pineal gland. And you will have energy like you never imagined. And to do that, you have to close the pelvic floor. And the pelvic floor is closed with a muscle that you use to stop urinating or defecating. So, and also by flexing that muscle and closing the pelvic floor, it'll keep you from becoming incontinent. because that's what that is. It's a muscle. It's a sphincter, right? So as these sphincters get weak, the body has pressure in it. And the more pressure it has, the more you have to go to the bathroom, whether it's urination or defecation, it doesn't matter. And if that sphincter is weak, there's going to be more pressure going on it than it can hold, and you end up going to the bathroom. You end up eliminating even though you don't want to. And how many people have that issue? Quite a few, evidently, because adult diapers are outselling baby diapers now. And these are all simple things to correct. They're just not going to tell you how to do it. Everything in the medical system is backwards. Live is evil. Lived is devil. Just two little tiny examples of words we use every day to express how we feel. But in some way, they have just reversed that. You know, and Hashimoto's and yeah, I can't remember the other one right now. But anyway, if you look that up in the medical system, they have no idea what it is. They just gave it a name. And once they got a name, they can get money to research and they make a medication for something, even though they don't know why it's happening. And all it is a congested lymphatic system. Because your lymph is your life, just like your breath is your life. And if that lymph gets congested, you know, all pimples, cysts, boils, and tumors are lymphatic issues. Doesn't matter if they're benign or cancerous. They're lymph. And when you get the lymph flowing instead of being stuck, which is what 3/4 of America is right now, probably more than that, then you're going to get sick. You're going to have a dis-ease somewhere in your body. And when you clean the lymphatic system, pimples, cysts, boils, and tumors go away. They don't have a choice because it was congested, and that's why it built that. And it put it in a sterilized container so that it couldn't harm the body. Now, if it's growing, I understand that you have to do something. But when you have a biopsy, if you take a balloon and fill it full of water, and you take a pin and poke a hole in it, what's going to happen? It's going to leak out, right? So if you take a tumor that's cancerous and you go in and do 6 or 7 biopsies in it, punching holes in it, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to leak out. And then it starts to spread through the body because it's in the tissue. It's not in that sterilized container anymore. And I don't really know what to say other than we need to stop listening to these people. You know, Michael Beckwith, I heard him in an interview, and he was talking to this woman. He was kind of dressed like I am right now. Nice clothes, and she said that she wouldn't do it. So he said, I'll be back. He goes in, puts on a white lab coat with his name on it, comes out, tells her the exact same thing, and she was all on board with it and couldn't wait to do it. That's how programmed we are. And we need to step away from that. We need to go back in here. The answer is not out there in the world, it's right here. It's in the body. The body knows how to take care of itself and how to maintain its health. But we have been pulled so far off track that it chemically, mentally, physically, emotionally, through fear, self-doubt, and scarcity, that we think we're doomed. Well, we're not. We are the commander in chief of our body, and we need to stand up inside ourselves and make the commitment to change our life. Now, if you get in an auto accident and you're broken, go to the emergency room. Not me, because I don't do that. I believe they're the best in the world at that. It's the long-term care that's the issue. You know, I was talking to somebody the other day. They were on I think it was 36 medications. And I've seen people that have suitcases, like a decent sized suitcase full of medications that they take every day. And sometimes they take two or three of that one medication, of one of those medications that's in there. And others, they take one. But I mean, how many pills do you have? You don't have a chemical shortage, a synthetic chemical shortage, anyway. And it just blows my mind how ridiculous some of their stuff is, and how people just, they don't think they have a choice because they've been trained that they don't have a choice. Just like started to learn to read and write at 49. Well, I was always told that I'd never be able to read and write by the system that was teaching me. And I I don't know. I'll end right there because I'm kind of rambling here.
I was looking at the clock and I thought I just let him talk. You always come up with so much good stuff, Gary. So we're happy to do this.
Right.
But I was going to say about what you mentioned with the pharmaceuticals is that and once you are using them, a lot of people are afraid to get off because they have been told that now their problem will be much, much worse or even cause the initial problem. So, yes, if you want to get off your medication, you will have to talk with your doctor and will have to do it under supervision because some medications, they're pretty bad.
Mm.
And it doesn't matter if it's like for whatever symptom that they came up with, be careful when you stop your medication, do it under supervision. All
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah, I think it is. Sarah, if you want to add anything, now is the time before we close.
No, I think this was a great show and that's a good ending. But yes, definitely follow up with your doctor and do it under supervision to get off your medication. Even the stuff we went through with my stepdad, sometimes there's things you just can't stop all of a sudden. You have to be weaned off. So always use everything with care.
Yeah, and
Yes.
there is another thing that we seem to forget because we think that there is so much power in this medical industry, but they are working for you. It's and if you have a doctor that who cannot align with the way you feel about life, find another doctor.
Right.
Just look for another doctor. Okay, that was for today. We are going, what is the word here? Hiatus or something? We're gonna take some time
Yeah,
off.
that would work.
I realized that all the holidays are on a Thursday, so I'm like, okay, we will be back the second Thursday in January. And Gary has a lot of traveling to do by that time. He is somewhere in Europe, maybe in Rome, maybe not. And for all of us, I'm gonna focus on my book and a new course I hope to launch. Well, I was hoping for January, but I think it's gonna be a little bit later. And it's gonna be a lot of fun what we are doing the next few months, and you will all see that, or yeah, you will see the effects of it back in or again in January. So I will probably be posting things not only in my Facebook group but also on YouTube to keep people knowing what's going on with us. You will do that, Gary, with your travel.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and Sarah, same thing for
I'm
you. Keep us
I'm hit and
posted.
miss. Yep, I'm hit and miss. I don't ever I'm a planner, but I don't plan anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like to fly by the seat of my pants too, but I Katie and I have talked about this a few times. I gotta kind of see what her schedule looks like too in mine, but we might be getting back on to doing our Bible decodes again. And, things are just starting to bubble up in my life. And so the overflow is coming on that. So hopefully we'll be spilling out and sharing it with all of you.
Sounds perfect. So much love to everyone,
Yes.
and the best of the best always to everyone.
Absolutely. We love you all. And I'm going to say have great holidays just because there's 3 of them in a row coming up that we won't get to talk with you all during that time. But much love for you all. And Gary and Toni, very much love to you both. And safe travels, Gary and Katie. We miss you and we'll talk with you soon.
All right. Love you
Okay,
guys.
thank you
And,
all.
and
Bye.
watch your diet over the holidays.
Yeah, well, if you eat something that you're not supposed to eat, don't feel too guilty
No,
about it. There's always the next day,
that's right.
and you just pick up where you were before and enjoy your family. So
Yes.
it's
Be
important.
present
Yeah, and
and
be
bring your presence. Oh,
Yes.
one more
Okay,
thing I
guys.
want to say real quick
Yeah,
is I have seen on like Instagram, well, even though I've been very charged not to be on there, but people are making the most beautiful little designs out of fruit, like a Santa Claus with raspberries and a little teddy bear. I mean, you can be very creative on the things you take to your family. So,
absolutely. Yeah, have fun with it.
all right. Love you all.
All
Okay,
right.
Bye.
Love
till the
you.
next time. Bye bye.